Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to NXTGEN Racing TV, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. You join us for a very exciting day, not just for NXTGEN Racing, but also GT3 Racing on iRacing. We have for us the first endurance round of the season. Now, I must be mistaken here because we are gridding... Okay, we might have to go for a quick intermission already, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to join a new server for one reason or another. However, we'll get some of the housekeeping over and done with, and then we'll join us on the new server. So, tonight we have got the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. It's going to be a 2-hour endurance tonight. And there's going to be no qualifying to introduce that. It's going to be the championship order starting grid for this race, but it's going to be the championship order reversed, and then we'll have the 2-hour endurance. But join us in 5 minutes. We'll be back with a brand new server. We'll be back with the upcoming race. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Let's try again, shall we? Welcome along, everyone, to NXTGEN Racing TV, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. This is GT3 Season 8, and we're in Round 3 of the Championship, our first endurance round of the Championship. It's an exciting day because it is the first endurance round of the Championship, but also there's a new addition to the Championship. More on that in a moment, but a big shout out on behalf of NXTGEN Racing to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of the Championship, of the series, of the organisation, and they include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design and Falconer PC, and of course Doble Motorcycles. We're here for Season 8 of the GT3s, hosted by NXTGEN Racing, a multi-class league featuring 3 different classes of driver skill. You've got the gold category, which typically comprises of the top third of the field, the middle third go into silver, and lesser experienced drivers go into bronze category. This is so the whole field can battle for a championship and or race wins throughout the season. We use all modern GT3 cars. There's 11 now, and there was 12 last time out, and we'll go through them very shortly. Normally we have a sprint race and feature race format in this championship, but in 3 of the 10 rounds in the championship there is a singular 2-hour endurance, or 120 minutes as it says in the lower left there, and there are 3 of them throughout the season. Those endurance rounds will set the starting grid for the race based on reverse grid of the championship order. So if you are first in the championship, it is likely that you'll start at the back of the grid for this endurance round. This is Thursday night racing. Most Thursdays we are hosting this championship, hosting this broadcast, so welcome along everyone who is watching. My name is Alex Everett, your commentator for the series. So let's find out where we're racing this season. We've already done Fuji International and Red Bull Ring, 2 sprint and feature race format races. Today we're here at Spa-Francorchamps in East Belgium, Stavelot, for the Spa-Francorchamps GP circuit for the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship, as we mentioned. We're about 25 kilometres west of the border with Germany, and this track, well, what can we say about Spa-Francorchamps? Legendary in its own right, one of the most iconic tracks in the world, one of the most iconic shapes of track in the world. It's on the Mount Rushmore of circuits in the world in racing. It was first hosted, the Spa 24 Hours was first hosted in 1924, so it is well over 100 years old, this infamous race. Of course, we're doing a 2 hours of Spa today, but Spa has hosted many a series over the years. It still hosts Formula 1, and it was hosted in the very first Formula 1 season in 1950. Likewise with WEC, the World Endurance Championship, 1953, and still hosts to this day. It's gone from a 9.3 mile, 15 kilometre circuit down to a 4.3 mile, 7 kilometre circuit that we know of it now. And there have been very few changes to the circuit in recent years, ever since the bus stop was taken out and replaced with a chicane. So that is round 3 of the championship, hosted tonight. Later on in the championship next week, we're heading back into the sprint and feature race formats, and it will be Imola hosting round 4 of the championship, followed by Thruxton circuit, not traditionally a GT3 circuit, but that'll see us out of the first half of the season in the small circuit in Hampshire. We're over in Florida for the resumption of the second half of the season. Round 6, the second endurance round of the championship, will be hosted at the Daytona Road Course. Round 7, we're back to the sprint and feature race format for 3 more races at Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch and Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. Then Sebring International will host the final round of the championship, another 2-hour endurance, the third of the season, to crown our champions at the end of this campaign. And these are the cars we're racing this season, and you might notice there's a new addition. iRacing have just introduced the Aston Martin Vantage GT3 Evo, and guess what? Drivers are allowed to race it now, but it does come at a slight price. It does come at a slight consequence. Those who decide to switch over to the Aston Martin or join the championship today to race in the Aston Martin today, as in this round of the championship, will lose 50 points from their championship. That does mean some drivers will end up in minus figures, but it's just to make things fair. If you're going to switch to the Aston Martin, you will lose some points. But the other cars are still available, and some drivers, the majority of the field, actually have stuck with their cars, particularly the drivers who are towards the top end of their championship, heading out of the first 2 rounds. And the cars that the drivers can use and choose is the Acura NSX GT3, the Aston Martin Vantage, as we mentioned, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. So very exciting. We have got the new car out on the track, and let's take a look at it in all of its form and glory. The Aston Martin Vantage, brand new as of Tuesday. And there it is, driven there by Ben Bennyworth at the moment. New addition to this season. Of course, he's been in many seasons in the past, but tonight is his first round. But a little bit more housekeeping before we get things underway, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over the points as we head into tonight's crucial round of the championship, we might add, because tonight there are 50 points on offer for the race winner in each category, so it is hugely important to get good points in these endurance rounds. And there's also only one of these races tonight, just one 2-hour race, and that means it's got to matter in this one. So in the gold category, it's Dominik Pester leading the championship. He won the sprint race last time out at the Red Bull Ring, and he did very well in the he won the feature race last time out, and he won the sprint race in round 1, so he comes away as championship leader tonight. Only 5 points though from former champion in this series, Benji McCluskey. 73 points for him. Only the feature race win in Fuji to his name so far this season, but he certainly does have a grasp on the front runner, Dominik Pester, in this championship so far. 3rd place, a bit of a tricky start to the season for Lucas Seedor. He's had at least one race in each round where it hasn't gone right for him, but his pace has been brilliant. But he's 3rd in the championship heading into tonight. Jack Pittas, nice and consistent all the time. We say that about him all the time. He's 4th in the championship heading into tonight. Jamie Dory, good start to this season for him. 5th place for him as we head into tonight. And then in 6th place is defending champion Stephan Wessels. And of course, in round 1 at Fuji, he had a very bad round indeed, just scoring 2 points, having 2 incidents in both races, of which on the first corner of the first lap. But last week was a little bit better. He got a sprint race win, and the second race didn't quite get up to the position that he wanted, but he did have a good strong finish anyway. So it is 6th place for him in the championship so far. The admin of the series, Gaz Williams, is 7th position, followed by Brandon Schmidt, who missed last time out at Red Bull Ring, but had a good round at Fuji for round 1. Adam Wilson-Weir, the outgoing bronze champion, is 9th in the gold category. A good start to the season on his opening gambit, I would say, in the gold category. And Harry Langford, who joined in the series for round 2, is 10th in the championship. Silver category, Alain McKane leads the championship. The curse is lifted. He got himself a win at Fuji. Last time out, he didn't get himself a win at Red Bull Ring, but it was still good, strong results, rewarding him with a 13-point lead in the championship over Brandon Vincent Squibb, who had a brilliant opening round at Fuji, but not a bit of a lackluster second round. He drops some points and drops a position. Andy White, good consistent results for him, rewards him with 3rd in the championship. Likewise with Nigel Stock, good start to the season for him, he's 4th. Jason Raff, a win in the sprint race last time out at Red Bull Ring, is 5th in the championship coming into tonight. And Stephen Fry, 6th position for him. Phil McDougall won the feature race last time out at Red Bull Ring, and he puts himself up to 7th in the championship. George Stone did lose a lot of positions in the championship coming out of round 1 into round 2, but some good pace from him so far this season. Let's see what he can do after tonight. 8th place for him. Matthew Addy 9th and Wesley Lewin in 10th. Bronze category next, and it is a lead in the championship for Oliver Forsström, who hasn't won a race yet this season, but is a singular point lead in the championship for the consistent Swedish driver over Samy Ariba in 2nd position, who had a good opening round at Fuji, but not such a good second round, but he's only 1 point off that top spot. Let's see what he can do tonight. 3 points off top spot is Stephan de Gravelli. He's been very consistent this season. He's contended for wins in both feature races so far this season, but has narrowly missed out due to driver error or lack of fuel in another part, but it's been a good show of pace this season for Stephan de Gravelli. Let's see how he gets on in this endurance race tonight, on home turf for him, I might add. Kurt van Honecker is 4th position, similar to Stephan de Gravelli, very consistent results this season. And down in 5th place is Robert Savage. In 6th position is Matthias Smolny. Now, he won both races last time out of Red Bull Ring, so he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in this bronze category. Missed the opening round, but a good second round means that he will be a championship contender once drop rounds are in place. Let's see how he gets on in the opening endurance round of the championship tonight. Elwin Sykes 7th, followed by Shawnee Clark. Davide Favo in 9th, and 10th is Stein Vatens. Teams Championship now, and it's Sorrento Motorsports at the top of the table by 5 points clear, which really isn't much in this Teams Championship. Of course, it is the drivers Dominik Pester and Lucas Seedor who scored the majority of the points last time out, but Carl Griffiths also scored a good haul of points for the team in round 1, so they're definitely the team to beat this season. Mission R powered by Mords are in 2nd place, with Samy Ariba, George Stone and Matthias Smolny scoring the points for them. Crest Autosport Porsche in 3rd place with an impressive only 2 drivers in their team. They are 3rd in the championship heading into tonight, just 9 points off top spot. Quatermass Motorsport in 4th position, driven by Jack Pittas, Harry Langford and Oliver Forsström. Oliver Forsström, of course, is leading the bronze category heading into tonight. And 5th place, Mission R. Jonathan Berry, Stein Vatens and Brandon Vinton Squibb driving for their team. So that's the championship situation heading into this round. We're here at Spa-Francorchamps for the first endurance round of the championship. It's just a singular 2-hour race. And the grid is set by the championship results, as we just saw, reversed. So the championship leaders, Dominik Pester in the gold category, Alain McKane in the silver category, and in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström will start at the back of their respective category grids. They'll have to fight their way through in the 2-hour race to the front. If they want to maintain their good form they've had so far this season, there certainly has been good form from all 3 of those drivers. Meanwhile, in practice here, which is ending in just over 3 minutes' time. Now, of course, we did have a brand new server hosted for us. There was something wrong with the first one, can't quite remember what it was. But at the top of the standings in the gold category, it's Stephan Wessels, and he's clear by half a second at the moment. Now, bear in mind, they've had a lot less time in this session than they did the previous, so these times aren't fully representative of the pace of these drivers. However, Stephan Wessels, we know what he can do. He won last season's championship. He won the sprint race last time out at Red Bull Ring. He's going to be starting a lot further ahead on the grid because of his lower championship position. So he's going to be starting further up the grid than his rivals. He is definitely one to look out for in this endurance race. Jason Raff has shown great pace in the silver category this season. Another CSA driver likewise too, Stephan Wessels. But Jason Raff won the sprint race last time out at Red Bull Ring, so he's looking good with the pace he's setting right now for that silver category. And Oliver Forsström, brilliant start to practice here. Top of the standings in bronze category. So let's see how he gets on tonight. So, plenty of drivers to look out for tonight. As we mentioned again, Matthias Smolny heading out of the pits right now. He scored double wins in the bronze category last time out, so he's definitely one to look out for. He's also going to be starting further down the grid, heading into his box, actually, not heading out of the pits. But yeah, he's definitely one to look out for tonight in that bronze category, and will be starting further ahead than what will end up being his championship rivals. Brandon Vincent Squibb doing good in practice at the moment for the silver category. He'll definitely want to bounce back after what he would probably call a disappointing round last time out at Red Bull Ring. But Fuji was very strong pace. So let's see how he gets on in this race tonight. And the championship leader is 3rd place on the road right now, Dominik Pester, following a couple of cars up ahead. And the thing is about Spa-Francorchamps, especially in GT3 cars anyway, they punch such a big hole in the air, and a flash of the lights there to say get out of the way to the drivers in front. But Dominik Pester, yeah, in this race, he's got a lot of work to do to get through the pack. But the thing is about Spa-Francorchamps, slipstream is your friend on this track. There's such long straights, the Kemmel Straight, the run up to Blanchimont. Heading out of Pouhon as well is a very, very fast section. So slipstream is going to be your friend in this one. And a couple of new drivers tonight. And to pick out one of them, Gabriel Roop in the Rally.eu racing team. And there's 3 drivers racing for that team here tonight, Gabriel being one of them, and the others I'm sure we'll see them at some point tonight, including Fabien Kozielek. Another driver that I can't quite see in the field at the moment, but I'm sure we'll refer to them a little bit later on. Right, we're finishing practice now, so there's going to be no qualifying. There's going to be no warm-up now. That was the warm-up. And we are into the race. Straight into it. Reverse grids of the championship order. So let's, without further ado, start with the gold category. So it'd be Craig Corish who will start on the front row of this gold category grid, with Sean Shute starting alongside. Harry Langford will start 3rd place. Now, he was quick in practice, so this is a very good opportunity for him. And it is Gaz Williams in 4th position. Stephan Wessels is 5th with Jamie Dory in 6th position. And Jack Pittas starting 7th place with Lucas Seedor in 8th. Benji McCluskey in 9th with Dominik Pester, the championship leader, in 10th. And there's a lot of gold categories to follow. Gold category drivers to follow, because they've either missed the previous round or they switched car. Jeffrey Kruger is one of them. He missed last time out, so he'll start in 11th place, followed by Kieran Davidson in 12th. Kyle Griffiths, who had a very good round at Fuji, will start 13th alongside another driver who also had a very good round at Fuji. It's Brandon Schmidt, so welcome back to those drivers. Ben Autry will start 15th place, and these next 5 drivers are all going to be in the Aston Martin, including Ben Autry. Harry Hartley-Price will start 16th in the Aston Martin. In 17th will be debutant tonight, Gabriel Roop, with Jake Pitt. Welcome back to him in 18th place. And Ben Benworth, another welcome back to him, driving for Quater Mass Motorsport in the Aston Martin, will start 19th at the back of the gold category. Jopi Siemens will start at the front of the silver category grid, with Ryan Blackie in 2nd position. Wojciech Kurp will start 3rd position with Dirk Wagner alongside. Mark Baker and Wesley Lewin will take up the 3rd row of the silver category, with Matthew Addy and Phil McDougall taking up the 4th row. And Phil McDougall, of course, won the feature race last time out at Red Bull Ring. 9th place, Stephen Fry with Jason Raff in 10th position. Nigel Stock will start in 11th place with Brandon Vincent Squibb in 12th and Alain McKane in 13th position. Matthew Cheverton starts 14th. He missed last time out at the Red Bull Ring. And Andy White, who has switched over to the Aston Martin, will start in 15th position. Mike Riedner in 16th position. Bronze category now, and it's Jason Downs starting at the front of the bronze category grid with Zara McGuinness in 2nd position. Maches Kazil in 3rd position with Davide Favo in 4th position. Elwyn Sykes 5th, followed by Matthias Smolny, who won both races last time out at Red Bull Ring. Robert Savage in 7th with Stephen de Grevelier on home turf is in 8th position. Samy Ariba in 9th position, who was leading the championship heading out of round 1, but not so in this round, is Oliver Forsström, who leads the championship, who will start 10th in this race. Matt Gatter will start 11th position with Jochen Seeger alongside him. Stein Vatens on home turf as well. He's 13th with Shawnee Clark in 14th. Kurt Van Honecker will start 15th with Fabian Kozielek in 16th position, and starting 17th will be Jaroslav Patiluk. That's the grid for our race tonight. 53 drivers on the grid, an enormous grid. So let's see how we get on. And hopefully our internet connections all hold out tonight. because it's a brand new season on iRacing, not to this league, but on iRacing. So it always throws up a little bit of a challenge with connection and the cars being a different balance. But that's the thing also. A lot of drivers have done testing of all the cars, and they're finding a lot of the pace in the cars has changed comparatively compared to previous rounds. Of course, in the championship, it's been 2 weeks since we raced at Red Bull Ring, and we've had the iRacing update, and it always just throws bop out of the window, and that's balance of performance. Of course, the Aston Martin coming in, being a new car, nice shiny new car, is probably going to be the quick car of the bunch. That's speculation, but we'll see how it actually gets on tonight. So there we go, the pace car is off and away. Craig Corrish will lead us towards the start line, and the gold category will start first, and then approximately 5 to 10 seconds later the silver category will start in their own group, and then approximately 5 to 10 seconds later the bronze category will start on their own in their own group. So we'll watch the gold category. They're heading towards us right now. 19 drivers in the gold category about to take to the green flag for this endurance round. Pace car is in. Once we're on the straight, we'll get ready to start. The wave of the green flag will signal the start of the race for the gold category. And away we go. It looks like all the cars squabbling around for positions already as we head up towards La Source for the first corner here. Oh, and a bit of contact back there between Jamie Dory and one of the CSA drivers. It might have been Sean Shute. Jamie Dory washes off wide and gets pinged off by the sausage curb there. And he loses a lot of positions already. Silver category off and away, and it's 4 wide already heading towards La Source. Oh, and there's contact already, and a crash, and an instant with the front-running driver, Jopi Siemens. And down the order goes one of the drivers that got turned into the wall. And we'll have to check on that via a replay very, very shortly. We head over to the bronze category. Zara McGuinness leads us into turn number 1. And a couple of drivers washing out wide there, but our championship leader, Oliver Forsström, gets away nice and clean there, but someone in the silver category definitely didn't. But if we go towards the gold category already, Stephan Wessels is already in the lead of the race here, so it's really shuffled up in the gold category very quickly here. As he goes through Bruxelles, he leads from Harry Langford. Langford is no slouch either. He will definitely harass Wessels at the front of the grid, front of the field here, and will definitely look to contend for that top spot. But Steph Wessels, a dream start to this race already for him. Now Jopi Siemens leads the silver category. He did get a shunt of the rear from the spinning car at the start of the race. I'm not entirely sure who it actually was, but Jopi Siemens has got away with it. He seems to have self-repaired his car. Sometimes that happens on iRacing. A little bit of a glitch, but he's got away with it. Now let's see if we can go find the start of the silver category. Well, the start of silver category here. And this might be it. So let's just check this. Yeah, this would be Wojciech Kurp moving to alongside one of the Mission R cars, and the Mission R car moves left, and into the wall goes Wojciech Kurp. That's how that happens. I'm not entirely sure who the Mission R car was in actual fact. It might have been Ryan Blackie actually, because he's still in second place here. And he started, yeah, he did start in second position actually. So that would be an incident that hangs over his shoulder for the rest of the race actually. Oh, it's back there. We had Wesley Lewin, and washing off wide there also is one of the CSA cars. That was Wesley Lewin actually. We've got the two Crest Autosport cars close to each other heading out of the final corner, the first lap of the race. Now remember, it's a 2-hour race. We're going to have plenty of pit stops, at least 2. As we see a move from Jason Raff here, very quick in practice, but couldn't quite complete the move on Stephen Fry, and he's got Phil McDougall hounding him. These are the two drivers who won a race each last time out at the Red Bull Ring. Battling as we head into Eau Rouge. Over Raidillon. Let's see, there's a little bit of damage on the, well, quite a lot of damage on the front bumper of Phil McDougall's car there. As we move further up the road, Matthew Addy looking around Dirk Wagner to try and find a way past the ECO driver. And let's check on the bronze category. It's Zara McGuinness who leads the race here by quite a healthy margin already. 3 seconds to Maciej Kazil. Elwin Sykes in 3rd position. Championship leader Oliver Forsström is in 9th place here at the moment, and quite a shame actually to be seeing Stephan de Grevelier seems to be out of this race already, or in the pits already. Let's see what's happened to Stephan de Grevelier. In actual fact, I don't think anything has happened. I think there's just been a connection issue for Stephan de Grevelier, which is a huge shame because this was his home track and he would have wanted to do done well here. Oh, we got side by side between Wesley Lewin and Stephen Fry through Fania, and past goes Stephen Fry, and Wesley Lewin is bogged down a lot there, so that puts him in trouble from Phil McDougall and Jason Raff, his teammate. Raff is on the inside of Phil McDougall, and Alain McKane, championship leader, trying to find his way through. Oh, look at the contact there, the CSA drivers coming together, and Alain McKane just capitalises on that. Through he goes on Wesley Lewin and Phil McDougall, and now he's got his sights set on Jason Raff. Look at this, Mark Baker is also trying to capitalise on this as well in the chrome McLaren there. Side by side between Andy White in the Aston Martin and Wesley Lewin. White is through. This has been a miserable few corners for Wesley Lewin. He's trying to fight back on the outside of the bus stop. He has the inside back for the next corner. Through goes Wesley Lewin. No, not yet. Not yet. It's a very good exit from the corner there from Andy White, actually. Kyle Griffiths of the gold categories in the pits already. Not entirely sure what's happened to him. By the looks of it, there was an incident for Kyle Griffiths, so let's see if we can watch it. This is Kyle Griffiths, centre of our screen now. Oh, very late braking from someone there. And round he goes. And it collects all sorts of other cars as well. That's Gabriel Rupp, Jeffrey Kruger and Kieran Davidson. And Kyle Griffiths decides to go straight to the pits. Now, drivers do get 3 fast repairs they can use in this endurance race. It's very, very useful. And through goes Alain McKane on Jason Raff. This is a great start to the race for Alain McKane. Past the sprint race winner from last week. The feature race winner of round 1 is up into 7th place already. He's got his teammates up ahead who can help him out in this race, surely. Let's turn our attentions back to gold category. Stephan Wessels is opening up a big lead here. He's got himself a big advantage here, not just gap-wise in this race, but also to potentially win this race, I would say, at this early, because he is almost untouchable in this championship. The only ones that can contend are further down the order at the moment. But equally, to argue that, Dominik Pester is up to 5th place already. Great start to this race for the Sorrento Motorsports Championship leader of the gold category. Meanwhile, his rival, Ben McCluskey, now we know he likes to take his time getting through the pack in these endurance races, but he's quite far back here. He's a 6-second gap from Harry Hartley-Price at the moment, so something's happened to Benji McCluskey along the way here. But it's a long race. A lot can happen. Safety cars can even happen, or full course cautions as they're referred to in this championship. And that could shake things up a little bit. This is the battle for the silver category lead. It's Jopi Siemens and Ryan Blackie. Mercedes versus BMW. Bronze category, Zara McGuinness is still leading it. In amongst some of the silver category drivers here, just ahead of Mike Greener and just behind Wesley Lewin. Of course, Wesley Lewin had a bit of drama in the previous lap, being put down the order a little bit. Samy Ariba in 4th position here. Sammy's in a good spot to try and take back the championship lead ahead of his rivals here in this race, but also has got to keep a merry eye on his teammate Matthias Smolny. And Stephan de Grevelier leaves the pits. Good to see him resuming the race. Matthias Smolny definitely going to be a championship contender as soon as drop rounds are implemented, which I can't quite remember when that would be. Potentially the halfway point. He'll join the championship battle. And he's now looking to make a move on Robert Savage. At the end of the Kemmel Straight there, you can see them side by side, the 2 Mission R cars. Will they fight? No, they won't. Savage will kind of let through Smolny into 5th position. We'll set his sights on Samy Ariba up ahead. Do not write off Smolny for a 3rd race win in a row 3 from 3 for him, competing in the championship. 3 from 5 potentially if he can do this tonight. But it's a competitive grid, the bronze category. It always is. It's all, well, with the exception of last season with Adam Wilson-Weir running away with the championship, other places in the championship, and the season before, season 6, of course, was a ferociously close championship right down to the final minute of the race. The bronze category is always exciting. And I feel like it will be so this year as well. Dirk Wagner in the top 5 here, having a good start to this race at the moment. Has got Nigel Stock just up ahead. In the BMW, Dirk Wagner has been a bit of a slow start to the season, but let's see what he can achieve with the high position he's got right now in this endurance race. And we've got Nigel Stock looking all around Matthew Addy here towards the bus stop chicane, which is no longer a bus stop, it is the chicane. Nigel Stock can't complete the move around there. Keeps a wide berth around Matthew Addy, giving plenty of room because it's so early on in this endurance race. Don't want to cause too much drama too early. And Stephen Fry is looking around, trying to get by Dirk Wagner, who takes a big dive to the inside of Nigel Stock. He has to go round the outside a little bit more to avoid Dirk Wagner, but stays in front. That did compromise him a little bit of a gap and pace to Matthew Addy, but let's see if the pace of the Porsche here can catch up with the other Porsche up ahead on this straight. Matthew Addy hasn't got the advantage of much slipstream, so let's see if Nigel Stock can gain on the car ahead. Dirk Wagner's not threatening Nigel Stock just yet. Well, Nigel Stock has got closer, but it's not close enough to make a move. He'll have to come at another point in the lap. Oh, and Stephen Fry. Oh, contact with Dirk Wagner. Oh, and Alain McKane is joined in as well. He's just caught up with them two at probably the right time. And 3 wide, heading into Bruce Shelton. Oh, big dive to the inside from Jason Raff on Dirk Wagner. Now, Wagner and Stephen Fry did have a little bit of a coming together heading out of Les Combes. That seemed to have compromised Dirk Wagner a little bit more. Stephen Fry seems to have gotten away with it, with the exception of losing a bit of time to Nigel Stock up ahead, who is now past Matthew Addy. That's just happened through Pouhon then, so let's see if we can get a replay. There we go, heading through Pouhon. Oh, and Matthew Addy gets all out of shape. The rear just loses its ground, and he has to catch it before it spins or goes off into the gravel. And that gives third place in category to Nigel Stock. Brilliant start to this race for him. Dominik Pester is on the move as well. He's made his way past Jack Pittas up into 4th place. And he's now looking to get onto the podium very early on, within 12 minutes of this race. He's looking to get into those podium spots. We normally see pit stops in these endurance races around about 30 to 35 minutes. Although this is Spa-Francorchamps, so it might have a difference to fuel saving / fuel usage. That might come into play in this race. Sparks flying underneath the car, going through Eau Rouge-Raidillon. And a good exit from the corner there from Jack Pittas. Might be able to challenge Dominik Pester here. Opts to push Dominik Pester down the straight a little bit here, working a bit together a bit. Jack Pittas might realise, you know what, Dominik's quicker than me. I'll just help him along, keep up with him, get away from the drivers behind, and see if I can get myself ahead of the driver who's up ahead, which is Sean Schutz. His teammate is running away with it at the top of the field, 3.6 seconds clear. Benji McCluskey is falling down the order. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Benji. I think an internet connection issue. Yeah, just dropping like a fly down the order. So this would be almost a repeat of what happened last season at Le Mans, the final round of the championship. A disconnection ruined his championship, let's just say. It might ruin his race here tonight. Let's see if he rejoins us eventually. Hopefully he does. Joby Siemens in the CSA team, leading the way in the silver category. I'm not quite sure why the timing towers decided to swap around the silver and bronze category. I have no control of that. But I'm not sure why it's done that. It'll probably put itself back to normal eventually. With the silver category. Jopi Simmons still leading away. He is 4 seconds clear of Nigel Stock, who's bringing with him Matthew Addy, Stephen Fry and Alain McKane. And the Crest Autosport drivers having a good one here. Oh, Stephen Fry looking to the inside. At Stavler on Matthew Addy. Let's see if the move can be made. But we're going to jump to Dominik Pester, who's made his way past Jack Pittas there. Sorry, made his way past Sean Shute in actual fact. Let's just get a shot. Whoa, look at that. Sean Shute overshoots the corner there, and Dominik Pester and Jack Pittas somehow avoided that. Kudos to them. Now Sean Shute's in trouble from Lucas Seedor. Another Sorrento driver moving up the grid. In 6th place right now. Also keep an eye on Brandon Schmidt as well. Did very well at Fuji International for round 1. Oh, and it's taken a look to the inside of Craig Corish at Bruxelles. Not to be though. Try again at another corner maybe. But Craig Corish started this race on pole position. Got pushed down the order a little bit on that opening lap, but holding his own a little bit more now. 7th place. More internet connections I'm seeing on the chat here. Matthew Cheverton has also had a disconnection, so has Jake Pitt by the looks of it. It's all happening. Internet connection. Whoa, car off the track there. That was Sean Shute. So Sean Shute has not had a good lap at all. Rejoins the track arguably right in front of other drivers. But let's just take a look what's happened to... That's the previous incident. And there's contact between him and I think that was Lucas Seedor actually. So I'll tell you what, let's get the replay going back a little bit further. Lucas Seedor dives to the inside, and I must say there was a gap on the inside, but was that too late to go for that move? And there was more contact later on for Lucas Seedor actually. Let's just go back to that and see what's happened there. That was Craig Corish on the outside. Seedor dives back to the inside. And that's another spin. Lucas Seedor's having a lap here. He carries on. I believe Craig Corish is back ahead of Lucas Seedor. He might have dropped back to let through Craig Corish just then. Might have been what happened. But that sets back Lucas Seedor quite a lot there. And has a lot of work to do to get back into contention as the Aston Martin of Ben Bennyworth gets alongside to the outside. Welcome back to the Series 2, Ben Bennyworth. Through he goes. Also does Gabriel Roop. Debutant tonight. Lucas Seedor's not having a good time of it right now, and in fact it might be due to a missing rear wing actually on that Mercedes, which is not easy to handle with. Gaz Williams right behind will look to get past very shortly. So bronze category, checking back in with them. There's been quite a bit going on for these actually. Maciej Kazil moves into first place in category, ahead of Zara McGuinness. And Maciej Kazil has had a bit of a troublesome start to the season, but this is looking pretty good so far for the for this endurance round. Elwyn Sykes in the top 3 here, trying to get up towards the top 2 then, and Matthias Smolny, winner of both races last time out at Red Bull Ring. Good start to this race, up to 4th, gaining on 3rd. Certainly keep an eye on him for the rest of this race. Let's go back to the silver category. Nigel Stock trying to gain on the 2 up front, and actually Since the last time we checked in with the silver category, he's 1 second closer to Ryan Blackie and Jopi Siemens. Big opportunity here for either Nigel Stock or Alain McKane, and even Stephen Fry, to contend for winning this race, but don't also write off Jason Raff, who won the sprint race last time out. A bad exit from the chicane there means Matthew Addy is to the outside heading towards La Source, and don't write off Matthew Addy, he's always in contention for silver wins. Alain McKane with the fastest lap of the race in silver category just then. I thought Matthew Addy was going to go for the inside out Eau Rouge then. He's going to wait, he's going to try and time this for the Kemmel Straight. Pulling away a little bit through Raidillon there was Jason Raff, but that's okay. Matthew Addy might be able to recover it on the slipstream down the Kemmel Straight here. Or will he? He might have actually dropped back a little bit too much then. Jason Raff took less curb, but might have had a cleaner run through Raidillon. But to the inside goes Andy White on Matthew Addy, but Matthew Addy fights back, powering it around the outside, and stays in front through Lake Con there. Phil McDougall, who won the feature race last time out at Red Bull Ring, is in 10th place here. A few places lost in this race so far. Recovery drive needed from Phil McDougall, as going wide there is Dirk Wagner. That invites McDougall to move past, and also you've got Alan White making the move on Matthew Addy there at Pouhon. We just about saw that. They're still side by side. Matthew White giving plenty of room to Matthew Addy on the outside there, who fights back, going into Fagna, but got the inside for the next corner now is Andy White, and I think he might have got this done. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the Aston Martin and the Porsche, but Matthew Addy's not giving up. There's a little bit of damage on the front of Matthew Addy's car. It might cost him a little bit of grip, a little bit of pace. But through goes Andy White in his new shiny Aston Martin today, up into 7th. Bronze category, not too far behind this silver category in actual fact. Zara McGuinness leading this race. Mathias Kazil not too far behind still, and we've got Elwyn Sykes gaining on them as well, and Matthias Smolny lurking around as well. Matthias Smolny can smell the lead of this race, I imagine, but so can Elwyn Sykes, former bronze category champion in season 6, for that very dramatic showdown at Daytona 2 seasons ago, where it was a championship battle in the bronze category between 6 different drivers, and Elwyn Sykes was the one who came out on top. Five-second lead now for Stephan Wessels at the front of the gold category, with Harry Langford second position. Harry Langford missed Fuji, so plenty of points to pick up in these next few races. Of course, I'm just going to dig out the championship standings for myself. They're not open on my browser for some reason. But yeah, Harry Langford, a good round last time out at Red Bull Ring, scoring 31 points. So it means if a good amount of points from second in this race potentially, when drop rounds come in, Langford would definitely be in the mix. Dominik Pester, a good start to this race also for him. From 10th position up to 3rd position right now. Great start to the race for him. And his main rival is out of contention. An internet disconnection for Benji McCluskey, who is back in this race. Good to see. We'll need to try and pick up some points somehow, somewhere. Big hit at the curb there for Dominik Pester. I wonder if that was that'll result in a slow down penalty, or maybe just a 1x, but maybe plenty of floor damage to go with it, which is quite crucial around this track, I might add. Things are getting a little bit close in the silver category. Less than a second between Jopi Siemens and Ryan Blackie, who he himself is less than a second, give or take, ahead of Nigel Stock. Stephen Fry is close to him as well, but the Crest drivers, presumably, I mean, they're my team, but they might work together here to try and get themselves closer to the top 2. Can they get a top 3, a 1, 2, 3 in this race? That would be extraordinary. I don't know if we've seen a team do that in any category in the next gen GT3s. Maybe Mission R actually have done that. They might have done that last season. I seem to think at Mosport last season they did a 1, 2, 3 at the sprint race in Mosport. That's the bell that's ringing in my head. Any Mission R guys in the chat, let me know. Am I going loony, or is that something I actually remember? But this could be an interesting battle in the works for silver category, getting back into focus there. We've got a CSA driver at the front. Mission R car second, and then 3 Crest Autosport cars to follow. Now in the bronze, well, things seem to be happening in the bronze category, so we're just going to go to a replay here. Zara McGuinness. Off the track there, spin. And collects. I think that was Smolny. Yeah, it was Matthias Smolny. Big damage for Zara McGuinness in the Mission R car, and collects teammate Matthias Smolny. So that's really put a damper on his race, and somehow Elwin Sykes and Matthias Kazil avoided that. But Elwin Sykes now takes the lead in the bronze category. Let's just get another replay of Smolny's approach to that incident. So that's up ahead, Kazil and Sykes. Sykes ahead of Kazil. That's the spin from McGuinness up ahead. Oh, and Smolny thought, you know what, going left might be better, and it was just a little bit too late by the point he thought that. Now, there are drivers in the pits. Ryan Blackie and Stephen Fry are amongst them. Now, it's quite alarming, actually, because there's a little glitch when they enter the pits, and it causes the timing screen to think someone's had a crash when they actually haven't. It's just them entering the pits. But the drivers in the pits here, Ryan Blackie and Stephen Fry, they were towards the front of the silver category. So the pit stops are now happening just 26 minutes into this race, which is earlier than most races where the pit stops happen. So we'll see when others heading to the pits. Phil McDougall's in the pits as well. Van Honecker is in the pits of the bronze category. And I'm keeping an eye on Stephan Wessels here. Now, Stephan Wessels has got the opportunity here to push at his pace, but also save a little bit of fuel for good measure as well, given that he's able to open up the gap to the drivers behind him, Langford and Pester. So let's see what happens to Stephan Wessels on this lap. Alain McKane has moved himself ahead of Nigel Stock at some point. And there we go, Stephan Wessels is pitting. So this is the pit window for these cars on this track. Just going back to McCain, passing Nigel Stock on the straight here, moves alongside, and Stock lets McCain have it. He knows McCain is in the championship fight. Tactical switch between them. A lot of drivers in the pits. The only one that's carried on here is Craig Corish. Silver category drivers also in the pits. This is the first of what will be 2 pit stops, I imagine, in this race. If you can make this a 2-stop race, you're in good stead. Jason Raff has stayed out, he's carried on, but a lot of the silver category drivers in the pits, including Alain McCain, Nigel Stock, Jopi Siemens, Matthew Addy, Now the bronze category also in the pits. Matthias Kazil in the pits. Now his rival in this race, Elwin Sykes, has fallen down the order a little bit more and actually has ended up behind Zara McGuinness and Matthias Smolny, whom he passed just a lap ago. So not a good stop for Sykes, it seems. So this might put the bronze category lead in the hands of Matthias Kazil if he can get this stop right. Now the silver category drivers are leaving the pits. Joby Siemens gets out in front of Alain McKane. It's quite hard to get the upper hand in the pits. Whoa, as Alain McKane nearly put it into the wall, heading out of the pits then. But Ryan Blackie has not had a good stop there. He's ended up back behind the Crest Autosport drivers. And Stephen Fry has not had a good stop either. He's back here in 8th. And Blackie and Brandon Vincent Squibb. Squibb's had a very quiet start to this race. I do wonder if he's on the strategy or not. There we go. Oh no, we don't go. Not really telling us anything, that pit strategy is, unfortunately. I was hoping it could, but it isn't. But Brandon Vincent Squibb, let's see if I can find out some other way when his last pit stop was. Lap 1. So, yeah, he's going to be off strategy here, but is contending in with these drivers. But Joby Siemens back out in front. Just Jason Raff to pit in the silver category, who was a few places down from this bunch. But Alain McKane and Nigel Stock kind of got what they wanted. They're in front of other drivers. And they can now set their sights on the top spot. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström leads this race now. So somehow has got the jump on every bronze category driver and has ended up in front of Matthias Kazil. Now Oliver Forsström leading the championship heading into tonight. Started well down the order, and the fact he's in first right now, that's some going. Now, there's been a few incidents in the bronze category along the way to help him, but he's kept clean. He's got himself to the front. Craig Corish and Jason Raff in the pits. Corish drops down to around about the same place as Jamie Dory and Harry Hartley Price. Sorry, that'll be battling for 10th place, 8th place potentially. Yes. Jason Raff will rejoin the race now. Silver category drivers passing on by. Jason Raff rejoining. And I do think pitting later might actually be better here. Jason Raff is going to rejoin right in the mix here. And something's happened to Nigel Stock on that last lap. He's dropped down a few places. Jason Raff is rejoined right in the mix here. Ryan Blackie getting the slipstream heading out of Raidillon there. And through he goes. Raff rejoins in 5th position ahead of Nigel Stock. This is Nigel Stock. He's behind the drivers here, so something's happened a little bit further back for him. This is Nigel Stock versus Brandon Vincent Squibb. I think it was just a bad run out of Blanchimont and also trying to warm up those tyres. Oh, going wide there was Sean Shute, just getting out of the way of the silver category drivers here. And up into the top spot is Brandon Vincent Squibb. He's got his tyres warmed up and he's romping it right here. And he's also got very old tyres right now, which are also quicker than the near brand new tyres that these drivers have got. So Brandon Vincent Squibb's now taken the lead. And look at that on the outside here. Ryan Blackie nearly trying to get past Alain McKane there. McKane had to avoid by understeering off a little bit. But he keeps it ahead and they keep it out of the wall, the two of them drivers do. But we're really seeing here the tyres taking a long time to warm up. Brandon Vincent Squibb is running away with it right now on nice warm tyres. We go to bronze category. This looks like a battle for second place, and actually Stijn Wessels might be getting it done right now. At Stavelot, he's on the inside. It's so close between the two. There was a little bit of contact there. That's Wesley Lewin trying to get around them as well. He's in the silver category, and he takes to the inside of the pair of them, trying to get his way through and back into contention for silver category honours. Stijn Wessels, will he go to the inside of Kazil at the bus stop? He's going to try it, but Kazil is much later on the brakes. And that is Matthias Smolny as well, lurking around here. He's recovered his race a little bit, and he's contending back with these podium spots. Very interesting to see the tyres that are warmed up really getting the better of the other drivers here. Oh, it's to the inside of Alain McKane goes Ryan Black. He's really taking the diving moves, and it's really putting off Alain McKane, actually. It's dropping him time from Jopi Siemens here, and that's really going to disgruntle McKane a little bit. Another dive to the inside, well, a look to the inside from Ryan Black here, and also Andy White is lurking around here as well. He's snuck into contention here out of nowhere. Nigel Stock struggling a little bit, and a front bumper missing as well is not going to help him out. 9th place. He's dropped down loads of places since that pit stop. Jason Raff is also quite far down the order. Let's see what's happened to Jason Raff here. This is entering Lecombe, sorry. Oh, that's another CSA driver. Raff won't be happy about that. That looked to be Wesley Lewin, I think. His teammate. Oh, and there's a car spinning in the background there. That's Matthew Addy spinning in the background there. Well, since the pit stops, this has been a very, very strange race. Tyres really... drivers struggling with the tyres, it seems. Oh, and a rear wing missing, so something serious has happened to Alain McKane here. Let's see if this will tell us a bit more. No, I can't quite see what's happened to Matthew Addy. There's a spin from Matthew Addy, and he can't get the car stopped. He goes into the barrier, and it takes off his rear wing. That's what's done it. And he's going to have to limp it to the pits to get a fast repair. So it's all happening here. Side by side between Alain McKane. Oh, and Ryan Blackie. No, Jopi Siemens, they come together and they're in the wall. Alain McKane shakes it off and he tries to carry on, but Jopi Siemens is stranded on the inside of Eau Rouge there. Let's see if we can get another replay of it. Right, coming out of La Source here. Let's go on board with Alain McKane. He takes an undercut out of La Source. Boots it. Just about gets alongside here. Oh, it's very hard to tell who went into the other. Just pushing the car down the straight there. So Alain McKane's race has become a little bit undone there. He might have to take a fast repair, and also his teammate Nigel Stock is struggling as well, so it's all come undone for Crest Autosport here since the pit stops. And this might well hand the race very firmly in the hands of the likes of Alan White, Ryan Blackie, and even Stephen Fry. Actually, he's not too far behind here. I do think Brandon Vincent Squibb's on a bit of an alternate strategy here, so we'll have to see how it gets on later in the race. So now the silver category has calmed down a little bit. Let's refer to our eyes to other battles that are happening out there. We've got Kazil still battling with Matthias Smolny here. Smolny's now onto the podium spot. This will be looking to get into second place. We need that to try and catch up to Oliver Forsström. which could well be a championship battle in the making between those two drivers. No move yet. And also Stijn-Weijtens just about hanging on here, but has ended up back behind Matthias Smolny's in the last lap or so. Samy Ariba in 5th place as well, quite a way down from these drivers and lapping a little bit slower as well, but Samy is getting some good points here, which will help him in the championship. Camel straight. This won't be a move just yet, but we'll have to work on trying to catch up with Gazelle again. Oliver Forsström is a long way up the road. 6.3, 6.4 seconds clear. And he'll probably look at his relative and think, you know what, the more you guys battle, the more I'll pull away. It's a very healthy position to be in. Meanwhile, in the silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb is driving away with it. 5 seconds clear at the front. And these two potentially battling for 3rd spot. Oh, as Ryan Blackie goes a little bit deep there. But no move yet from Stephen Fry. Let's see if the move happens at the bus stop. Through Blanchimont. Perhaps not close enough to make a move. We'll have to come at another point. We've also got an interesting battle emerging from Jack Pittas to Kyle Griffiths and Brandon Schmidt. These two drivers were fairly close together in the feature race in Fuji, as we just see Fry is in front of Ryan Blackie, and that's how he done it. Ryan Blackie went deep into La Source, and undercutting him is Stephen Fry on probably one of his best performances of the season so far is both of these drivers, and they're contending for the podium spot, and fighting back here straight away is Ryan Blackie, both of them in the BMW. Fry has the inside and brakes late enough to get it back in front. Nice exit from the corner there from Ryan Blackie. Can he take a move to the inside? He's going to go for the dive to the inside. We've seen him do that quite a lot tonight. Hasn't quite worked out for him there. Stephen Fry is able to break away a little bit, but we must switch to the bronze category as Gazelle and Smolny battling now. Oh, and a half spin! Near full spin for Smolny. And it's another position undone for him. He now has to gain that back. That sets Stijn-Weijtens into 3rd place. We're seeing a lack of grip in this race, more so than we have in most other races. Of course, an update throws a lot out the window, particularly in GT3s. There's a constant development cycle going on with these cars. Jack Pittas, 4th place here, consistent as ever, and is in a very good spot in the championship yet again this season at this point. Jack Mr. Consistent Pittas, as he was referred to in the chat last week, creative name. 4th place yet again here. In the championship heading into tonight, 4th place. Seems to like being in 4th place. But holding on very well in front of Carl Griffiths and Brandon Schmidt at the moment. And I'll tell you what is good to see is more Mercedes back in the field, as we see a look to the inside from Carl Griffiths, but doesn't make the move. But yeah, there's more Mercedes in the series now, which is good to see. It's good to see as many GT3 cars as possible and as many manufacturers as possible. We are missing a lot more of the McLarens that we saw last season. We're missing quite a few Ferraris, with the exception of Steph Wessels at the front of the field and Matt Gatter, Sean Shute. We haven't got any Acuras in the field, unfortunately, as well. Got a few Lamborghinis, one Audi, which is driven by Jamie Dory. So you see a battle between him and Craig Corish. Oh, hang on, we've got to switch to Brandon Schmidt and Carl Griffiths. As Carl Griffiths has gone off the track, it seems. Always seems to be when I cut away for 1 second these things happen. Oh, the car just switches out and he has to put it on the gravel, and somehow he keeps hold of it. Good driving there from Carl. It puts him down to 6th place and loses him a bit of ground from Brandon Schmidt. Stein Vatens has gained back on Maciej Kazil. This will be contention for 2nd position. Now they've dropped more time to Oliver Forsström, who's just running away with it in the bronze category here. Eight seconds clear now is Oliver Forsström, and it just keeps gaining and gaining, and the last lap more than 1/4 of a second quicker. But of course, these two battling, they'll be focusing on that and focusing less on the lap time. Oh, and Stein Vatens flashed the light there, and then kind of diving around to try and put off the driver ahead. And the line into the bus stop there wasn't great, actually, from Kazil, and the line even worse heading out of the corner from Stein Vatens as he slams on the brakes just to keep it out of the wall. That gives Kazil more breathing room in 2nd place. Now puts Vatens in trouble from Matthias Smolny. Brandon Vincent Squibb is running away with this a little bit in silver category. Now his first pit stop was lap 1, so it must have been that at the end of lap 1 he came straight into the pits, whether it was scheduled or not. Leading the race right now, so you've got to say it's working out pretty well for him. It's just how many more pit stops does he need? It's quite hard to tell that, to be honest. Will this work for us again? Not entirely sure. Okay, so 3/4 of an hour done in this race. Let's have a rundown of our order. Steph Wessels at the top of the table. Got there very, very early on in this race. Leads by 8.5 seconds. Oh, and there's an instant up ahead there. That's Brandon Vincent Squibb in the pits, not crashing now. I think that was Matt Gatter. Another stop for Brandon Vincent Squibb. This is where his 2nd stop has rolled around. Let's just go back to this. That all opened up right in front of Steph Wessels there. Gets away with it, but he leads this race. Harry Langford in 2nd position on his lonesome as well. And Dominik Pester has got himself to 3rd place from 10th on the grid. The championship leader might well extend his lead at the top of the championship tonight. But he will have Steph Wessels to worry about later on in the season. Brandon Schmidt, 4th position. Followed by Jack Pittas just behind. So Brandon Schmidt has managed to find his way past. Carl Griffiths. Did take an excursion. We saw a lap or two ago. Let's drop down time-wise a little bit. Ben Altra, who we haven't actually mentioned yet in this race tonight. Full Tilt Racing driver in 7th place position, being quiet in his Aston Martin, but got himself into a healthy position here. He's the highest of the Aston Martin drivers as well in the field. Gabriel Rupp on his debut is in 8th position, a good start to his campaign. Harry Hartley-Price in 9th position, heading this battle that runs down to as far as 15th, I believe. That's Harry Hartley-Price, Jamie Dory, Craig Corish, Lucas Seedor, Gaz Williams, Jeffrey Kruger and Ben Bennyworth. And then we move on to the silver category. Now, just taking the lead is Andy White. It's Brandon Vincent Squibb. It's taking his 2nd stop of the race. Andy White leads this race from Stephen Fry. 4.5 seconds back. Meanwhile, in 3rd position, it's Ryan Blackie. And Alain McKane, who's had a little bit of drama along the way, is in 4th position here. He might have a little bit of damage on that car. He's nursing at the moment, waiting for the pit stop later where he can take a fast repair. Dirk Wagner having a good race here. 5th place for him. Wojciech Kerp being a bit quiet tonight, but 6th position, not too far off the positions ahead as well. And we've got Ian Manners also in the silver category. Now, a very late entry, I think that is, for Ian Manners. But he's in the silver category and would be 7th. Oliver Forsström leads in the bronze category. A 10-second lead to Maciej Kazil. He's on his own now. A little bit free from Matthias Smolny for now. He's got his way past Steinvatens into 3rd place again. But every time Smolny makes progress, something just seems to set him back a little bit, whether it's a spin from himself or someone spinning right in front of him. Something is always setting him back. Steinvatens in 4th position. Zara McGuinness in 5th position. Started this race from pole. Did lead quite a bit of this race, but still in a strong position. Samy Ariba in 6th position, leading the championship, heading out of round 1 and 1 point off the top spot heading into tonight. But will lose touch as things stand in the championship a little bit, the way things stand right now. Owen Sykes is in the pits for his 2nd stop. Now, Owen Sykes was contending round about the top 3, but a rear wing missing there, so something's gone horribly wrong for Elwyn Sykes there. Let's see if this is something to do with it. Yes, it will be. That's heading out of the corner with no name. Oh dear, into the wall, and that will get rid of the rear wing. Actually, speaker's corner, not the corner with no name. I prefer the corner with no name, but still. Sykes drops down the order, has to take a fast repair, and an unscheduled pit stop here will go off strategy now, and has the race to chase now for the remainder. Now, we've got a few alternate strategies in here. The most notable one is going to be Brandon Vincent Squibb, so we'll have to see how he gets on as the race goes on. And there's other drivers who had to pit early who are now pitting. Carl Griffiths and Jeffrey Kruger are some of them. Not quite at the halfway point in the race, so these drivers will definitely need at least one more stop. And they've managed to go around about 48-49 minutes on a tank of fuel, which might suggest what the other drivers can do. So it will certainly mean that if drivers can get beyond the 51... Do excuse me. If drivers can get beyond 50 minutes, I suppose, they're heading into two-stop territory. So, the closest battle on the track, we'll go back to it here. Alain McKane, challenge for 3rd place again. He's back into 3rd place. Stamps on the brakes on the middle of the corner there to just keep it on the apex, and a little bit of contact between him and Ryan Black as they head through. But Dirk Wagner and Wojciech Kerp are trying to join in this battle as well. And I think that's another driver also trying to join in. That's Phil McDougall, who is a long way down, a few laps down, but trying to get stuck into this battle here. Seems to be on very fresh tyres as well, and is really lurking his way around. But Alain McKane is back in third place, back into the podium spot. His teammate is up ahead, but he can maybe get a chance at the win back on the cards. Look at this here, Ryan Blackie trying to defend from Dirk Wagner. There's contact between the two. Off goes Ryan Blackie into the gravel. Wagner and Kerp will carry on, but Ryan Blackie will have to recover it to the tarmac here. Oh, and he's gone to the pits, I believe. Oh, let's just get another quick shot of that. It's a big dive from Dirk Wagner. I would say the move wasn't on there. Might have just accidentally been too late on the brakes, but it's not really an excuse. That has really cost Ryan Blackie there, and he's gone to the pits. So is that race over for Ryan Blackie? It'd be a bit of a shame. He still had a chance. Bit of a shame that, but hey ho. Wojciech Kerp is in this race now to contend for fourth, maybe even third. Very, very topsy-turvy stuff in the silver category indeed. Now Brandon Vincent Squibb is back here in 7th place, just ahead of Nigel Stock. Now Nigel Stock's last pit stop was on lap 15. Just have to see what lap we're on right now actually. Yeah, lap 24, so I'll keep that there so we can see that. But yeah, Nigel Stock has fallen well down the order. And what was looking pretty good until the pit stops for him. Whole heat going on out there at the moment. We have got Matthias Smolny gaining on compatriot Matthias Gazelle up ahead. They're 10 seconds down from the top spot in bronze category. Oliver Forsström's having a really, really good race there. He's just keeping quiet, staying out of trouble, and just hitting his marks and gaining that gap. Got Ian Manners just up ahead. Is the leaders all out on their own at the moment. Wessels in the gold category, 9-second lead for him. Andy White, 6-second lead. And a 10-second lead for Oliver Forsström. We're heading towards the halfway point in the race. Pit stops, I anticipate, will probably be coming around in the next 10 to 15 minutes. It'll be interesting when those pit stops do actually roll around to see how long the drivers can go on a stint. Oliver Forsström trying to get past Ian Manners in the silver category. It's a little bit misty around Spa-Francorchamps all of a sudden here. A little bit less visible for us. Steinvaten's closing in on Matthias Smolny, is actually gaining on him quite well here. Might be able to challenge back for that third spot. In this bronze category, top 3 that's been all over the place, it must say, like as in a lot of drivers have been in contention for it in this race. It's getting closer. Let's see if a move can be made at some point. Just news on Benji McCluskey, other drivers potentially that are trying to recover their race here. Benji McCluskey with a disconnection has rejoined. His 15th in gold category now, so he's yet to make his second stop. That'll roll around very, very soon. But McCluskey trying to get back something from this race, trying to make some points, because you never know when you'll need them. But I did say last time at Le Mans, it's the first time that McCluskey's been unlucky, or been out of favour, shall we say. It's happened again tonight. And it really doesn't happen to McCluskey that often, because he's super consistent, super conservative with his racing. He's able to control a race very, very well. But when you can't control what the internet's doing for you, a whole heap you can do. Just going back to silver category here, Alain McKane in 3rd place seems to be under a little bit more pressure now in the last lap. Dirk Wagner and Wojciech Kurp lurking in on him. Now McCain will have a bit of damage on his car. He'll be eager to repair in the next 10 minutes or so. That'll help him out a little bit, but has it damaged his race too much already? In the last few corners, he seems to have broken away a little bit from Dirk Wagner. Both of these drivers are having a pretty good race here. Dirk Wagner did have a notable incident just a moment ago with Ryan Blackie. Wojciech Kurp having a very, very good race here, just keeping himself out of trouble, picking away at the positions. Alain McKane really struggling here. I think it is the straight line speed that's compromising him. There's a lot of damage on the front left of that Porsche there, so it might well be that. But it was literally around Blanchimont that Dirk Wagner and Wojciech Kurp gained on him, but through the corners McCain's doing okay. That's going to be losing him bags of time to Stephen Fry and Andy White up ahead. But they'll have a pit window they need to hit. They will know that. Looking back from Alain McKane. You can see the BMW behind rapidly gaining, not just on the brakes but down the straight as well. I think that is what's costing Alain McKane right now. Oh, as we see Wojciech Kurp with a very good exit to the inside from Malmedy at a very good exit, and through Bruxelles has made the move, and up to 4th place goes Wojciech Kurp, making his way towards the podium spots. Could this be a first podium for him tonight? Well done to Wojciech indeed, getting that move done. A nice clean race in between the two of them. That I saw anyway. Steinvaten's not quite gaining, has in fact lost a little bit of time to Matthias Smolny up ahead. I think a lot of these drivers are trying to bide their time a little bit, trying to get it into the pit window, and then they'll gun it, I suppose, when they know they're safe on fuel. That really is the precarious thing right now. Wojciech Kurp is already up to the back of Alain McKane, and that's a move going into last source round the outside. We'll try the undercut. Sorry, that wasn't last source, that was the bus stop. As we head towards last source, underneath us, still go there. We might well see Kurp go for a move going into Les Combes. Here is the McLaren driver. You can see Alain McKane is moving, trying to move himself out of the slipstream of Kurp. Look at how much he's rapidly gaining on Alain McKane here, and that's not car advantage pace, that's aerodynamic damage. Late on the brakes to the inside. Very daring move from Kurp, and McCain's trying to fight it back, but we'll have the outside for Malmedy here. Whoa, he is fighting back, and he's doing it so valiantly. McCain's back in front, but a dive to the inside at Bruxelles from Wojciech Kurp. They're still side by side. McCain fights back into Speaker's corner. He's back through. Still side by side between the two of them, and look who's lurking around the back there. It's Dirk Wagner trying to pick up a mistake from either of them. Through Pouhon, side by side, still brilliant battling from these two. Inside for the next corner is Wojciech Kurp. Is he through? Yes, he is. He's past Alain McKane, who must be desperate for a fast repair right now, but he's got to keep going. He's got to hit that fuel number. Wojciech Kurp, what a race he's having at the moment. He's up into the top three now. McCain is going to be under a little bit of pressure now from Dirk Wagner. Alan White, Stephen Fry, both have very, very healthy leads in their respective positions. As long as things go to plan for them. There we go, Alain McKane is doing it now. He's decided, you know what, I'm pitting now and getting this fast repair done. Will he have enough fuel to the end? He'll be on the bubble a little bit with fuel. So we'll have to keep an eye on him. Get that fast repair, he can get back on the pace, and I suppose when he resumes battle, I suppose, with Wojciech Kurp and Dirk Wagner, he'll have warmer tyres. That's the advantage he'll have when they do meet back up again, if they do meet back up again. Dominik Pester in third place here, passing some back markers. Leader at the championship in the gold category, heading into tonight, and will be leading heading out of tonight. His championship rival will be Stephan Wessels. So we keep switching over to Lucas Seedor here. He's fighting with Jamie Dory and Ben Bennyworth, and Lucas Seedor's had a troublesome race here. He had a difficult lap towards the start of the race, and that set him back quite a lot of positions. And he's struggled to recover since then. Dominik Pester, we were just talking about, will probably still be leading the championship at the end of this race. Steph Wessels will probably become one of his rivals in the championship. Of course, Steph Wessels will be waiting for the drop round to take place for that to really happen. He's advantaged a little bit tonight from grid position, but you look at the time gaps there, and and you certainly do feel that Steph Wessels probably could have got himself there anyway. Was the undeniable quickest last season, along with Benji McCluskey, and he's one of them this season as well. Him and Dominik Pester. I'm anticipating them battling a little bit more this season. We see sort of a little glimpse of it in the sprint race at Red Bull Ring, but that's all we've seen between the two of them this season. We will probably get it next time out, which will be round 4 of the championship at Imola. So another classic Formula 1 track to look forward to next week on Next Gen Racing TV, on Facebook and YouTube. Now, I'm just looking to the silver. Forget what I was going to say. I was going to say something really silly then, but no. We'll ignore it. Alain McKane is here in 8th. He's got no more stops. He's got to hit a fuel number now. And he's got to hope that he can get the jump, get the undercut on Wojciech Kurp and Dirk Wagner. But in this silver category, Andy White having a fantastic race here. He's just sort of swooped into first place. Past all the drama, past all the battling, has got himself into first place, has opened up a huge gap of 10 seconds now. And the last time we checked in with Alan White here, it was a 5-second lead, so he's checked out. So each of the 3 leaders with a big lead. There are drivers heading into the pits now. Jamie Dory and Lucas Seedor are 2 of them. I did say it'd be around about 50 minutes to go that the pit window will open. Stephen Fry's in the pits. 2nd place in the silver category. Comes in a lap earlier, or maybe more, than Andy White. Continues, so does Wojciech Kurp. Wojciech Kurp's 23 seconds behind Andy White, so a win is probably out of the question for Wojciech. In the bronze category, Matthias Smolny's in the pits. His rivals up ahead, Kazil and Forsström, carry on. Oliver Forsström passing by in the Quatermass car. We have got 3 different manufacturers leading each race as well. 3 different teams as well. CSA leading in the golds. Clark St. James leading in the silvers, and Quatermass leading in the bronze category, and 3 different manufacturers as well. It's the Ferrari leading in gold, Aston Martin leading in the silver, and McLaren leading in the bronze. And rather fitting to see Aston Martin on its debut, potentially on its way to winning a race tonight. That does sound awesome. Quite a popular car, quite a lot of drivers have opted for it. Now Andy White heading into tonight, it should be pointed out, was 3rd in the championship. He'll relinquish 50 points, and that won't get reverted with the drop rounds. That is a 50-point permanent loss. Andy White has decided to take, so it effectively now drops him from 52 points to 2. So it's a big risk he's made here, but the reward is he picks up 50 points in this endurance race. 50 points that would he have got if he stuck with the car he was before? Not too sure. Alain McKane and Stephen Fry So Alain McKane moves his way past his teammate, and they're both on the same stint now. So this is Alain McKane potentially moving into net second place here. Unless Stephen Fry has had a bad pit stop, which I don't think he has. So Alain McKane could be moving into net second place here. As Wojciech Kurp and Dirk Wagner are both in the pits. So here we go. This is crunch time for second place in the silver category. Let's keep an eye on Alain McKane, who's moving around now. We'll see if he moves past. Wojciech Kurp's on his way out of the pits. A long way to last source. McKane is through, and I think so is Stephen Fry. So this might well be regaining second place for Alain McKane. And you know what? Since his pit stop, he must have really hammered it, because that's quite a big clawback to regain second place for Alain McKane. Can he catch Alan White? Can he? We have also got Brandon Vincent Squibb to keep an eye on as well. Now, the thing to bear in mind with Brandon here is he's going to go quite far into this. He's on lap... Is he on stint? No, he's on lap 13 of his tyres, so... he's going to go quite far into this stint, so it means he's going to be in the box for a little less time. So we'll see how much time later on that he's actually going to lose. So don't write him off at a decent position in this race just yet. So a lot of the gold category drivers are pitting here. Pester leaving the pits now. Jack Pittas, Brandon Schmidt, Ben Altria, who's having a pretty good race actually. Rejoining... sorry, Dominik Pester just leaving the pits now, yeah. They're still in third place. That's the lead that those guys had in the gold category. Steph Wessels has managed to hold this on for an extra lap. So has Harry... No, Harry Langford hasn't. Dominik Pester's not too far away from Harry Langford, so we might well have, if indeed Pester can catch up with Langford, we might well have a battle for second place in this race on the horizon. Bronze category, just checking with them. Oliver Forsström is in the pit, so is Maciej Kazil. Stein Vatens and Matthias Smolny. Stopped a fair few laps ago. Lap 27 and 30. We're on 33 right now. So they'll be on a similar strategy to the likes of Alain McKane. Alain McKane is in the pits. Ooh, so it hasn't worked out for him. I wonder if he's come in to get a splash of fuel, but when he came in earlier, he did come in to get the fast repair. So this is really sending him down the order. 9th place. That might be a bit of a game over in this race for him. Nigel Stock has managed to extend for an extra lap. But this is potentially the net race leader right behind him. The current race leader in silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb. Alan White has an 8.5 second lead. Really isn't much actually. Oh, and that's Lucas Seedor with a missing rear wing, so something has happened to him there, and he's blinked out. Oh, it's maybe another internet disconnection. No, he's back in. Nothing's come up on my timing screen actually. There he is on the inside of Jamie Dory, so let's just keep an eye on Lucas Seedor. Around the outside at Lavagna. Oh, the car, let's go. car lets go again. Jamie Dory with a little nudge at the rear, and into the tyre wall he goes. This hasn't been Lucas Seedor's race, it really hasn't. And he'll go into the pits to take another fast repair. Silver category's a little bit mixed up here as Jason Raff is on an alternate strategy as well. Oh no, sorry, he's extended his stint here, similar to Nigel Stock. Andy White is in a really good position here for this silver category race. He's just got to get it to the end now. Back to the gold category. Jack Pittas close to Brandon Schmidt. I do remember some time ago Pittas was in front of the two, but look at that, Schmidt goes wide and that's going to let Pittas through. One small mistake there from Brandon Schmidt sends him down a position. And I believe Pittas is fourth place net position in gold category right now. He's just put himself there. Craig Corish is in the pits now. So Craig Corish has managed to extend his stint. Brandon Vincent Squibb is on an alternate strategy. Jason Raff and Nigel Stock in the silver category. We're waiting for them. And just look at the bronze category as well. Big lead for Oliver Forsström. But it is Stein Vatens who's put himself back into second place here. And quite a gap to Matthias Smolny. Of course, Stein Vatens, not such a good season last season, but he's moved over to Michelin Motorsport now, and it seems to be going well for him in that Lamborghini. But he was one of the championship contenders 2 seasons ago in that bronze category showdown at Daytona. And I think was actually the only championship battle we had for that final round. But this race would be good for him. Get some points back, get further up the standings. Look at this, this is Jason Raff trying to get around Andy White. Andy White, who is the net race leader. Jason Raff not wasting time, he's getting past him. Trying to claw back some time in this race. Jason Raff is extending his stint pretty well here. Him and Nigel Stock. We've gone on for 20 laps here. Around about what you can do on a full tank of fuel, I'm seeing. So you might see them coming to the pits very shortly. Darren McGuinness hanging on to the podium spots here, is not too far behind Matthias Smolny here, who's there heading into Les Combes. Not too far behind teammate is Zara McGuinness. Might be able to challenge for a podium. Unless there are any team orders at Mission R. There's quite a lot of teams. 4 different teams for Mission R. Here's the regular Mission R team. Mission R backed by Alien Mods. Mission R Capture Athletics. And Mission R powered by Mods, which is a team we're familiar with from last season. Back to this battle for 4th place in gold category. Brandon Schmidt missing last time out at Red Bull Ring. Sitting back in the championship a little bit, but a good round at Fuji and a good round here. 5th place at the moment is a good haul of points. Means that he's going to be in for the running for the top 5 in this championship heading out of tonight, when you consider drop rounds as well. Now in the silver category, Nigel Stock has been in the pits and he's rejoined in 5th place. Jason Raff also 6th place now, and that was a big shake of the car there from Brandon Schmidt as he runs wide again heading out of Stavelot. Pushing very hard to keep up here with the Quatermass driver. And a look to the inside into the bus stop there from Brandon Schmidt, but not to be. The exit from La Source there for Brandon Schmidt. I did see mutterings on Discord that the Aston Martin being the fastest car on the straight, and also the Mustang, neither of which these cars are. But look at this, BMW is really gaining on the Mercedes down the Kemmel Straight here. Will the move be made by Schmidt? I don't think it's going to. He's not going to make it just yet. But super close between these two. Steph Wessels getting towards a 10-second lead. That last lap he was about 1.5 seconds quicker than Harry Langford and 0.5 seconds quicker than Dominik Pester. But it's been nearly the whole race that Steph Wessels led this race. Very impressive lap 1, gets himself to the top here. And this is what he needed to get his championship relatively back on track. Quite a disappointing first round, but you know what, if you're going to have your worst round, it might as well be the first round, mightn't it? It means you can't really afford another one, that's the downside to that. Right, Brandon Vincent Squibb is on lap 38 here. Last pitted on lap 20. So we'll go a couple more laps potentially before he comes into the pits. Now a couple more laps won't bring down the pit stop time so significantly, but I do think that Brandon Vincent Squibb will definitely get at least top 5 tonight. He's enough of a distance away from Nigel Stock, I feel. But how close to that 3rd spot will he be? Quite a crucial race for Brandon Vincent Squibb because Alain McKane's dropped down to 8th place here. This could get things back on track for Brandon. As we head to Imola next week, it's a crucial round right here. It always is the first endurance round of the championship because it sets up the rest of your season. This is the moment where your season is made or lost, really. The very reason we were just talking about Brandon Vincent Squibb here, in crucial position here against his rivals, with Andy White dropping 50 points due to the car change. Alain McKane dropping down to 8th place in this race due to damage. A lot of points to be had for him. But 2 really impressive drives today in the silver category have been Stephen Fry and Wojciech Kurp. on course, both of them, for podium spots tonight. It's fairly close between them, 4 seconds, so it might not be over between them. But also a very good drive tonight is this guy here in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström. Leads the championship coming into tonight and will lead if it finishes as it stands here. And this sets him up as a strong contender for the bronze category championship. Around this time last season, we were looking at Adam Wilson-Weir as a shoe-in really for the bronze category already. I don't think that's the case for Oliver Forsström here. But certainly a good start to the season for him. Jason Raaf in the silver category, looking in towards Wagner. This will be the battle for 6th position. Jason Raaf has had good pace in this race, but the positions haven't quite come to him. The winner of the sprint race last time out of Red Bull Ring seems to have a bit more of a spring in his step this season. Had a few sporadic good races last season, including, I think it was Portimao last season, he won a sprint race. Well, hang on a minute, we're going to have to switch to the gold category. There's been a swap of positions between Dominik Pester and Harry Langford. This is how it got done. Pester has gained on Langford around the outside, going into... Wow, what a move that is. Around the outside at Legcombe. Fantastic move from Dominik Pester. Nothing Harry Langford could have done more to defend that. Just an outright good move there from Dominik Pester to take 2nd place. A very crucial position gain in this race for the championship. It lowers the amount of positions that Wessels is getting back at his rivals. But you know what? It's Dominik Pester will take 2nd place out of tonight. Benji McCluskey is down in 15th. Wessels is ahead, but there's not so many points he's losing out to him. And in actual fact, heading out of the Red Bull Ring, Pester outscored Stephan Wessels by 8 points anyway, so things still look good for Dominik Pester in the championship. And then I do feel next week at Imola maybe we'll get a little bit more of a showdown between Wessels and Pester, and maybe even McCluskey involved in that. Harry Langford potentially. Brandon Vincent Squibb in the pits now. Now this is going to be crucial for the silver category. Will he get out in the top 3? Can he even get out in 2nd place? 28 minutes remaining in this race. It's around about half a fuel tank. Jeffrey Kruger's also in the pits. He's in gold category though. Now Brandon Vincent Squibb is already off the jacks. The rest is fuel now. Stephen Fry does pass by. And so does Wojciech Kurp. But here comes Brandon Vincent Squibb. He'll rejoin in 4th place. Not too far behind Wojciech Kurp actually. But has got a lap or two to warm up his tyres as Vincent Squibb. For the rest of the race, it's going to be a hard charge for him to get into 3rd spot. Regaining the lead of the silver category is Andy White with a 15, near 16 second lead. And the switch to the Aston Martin, although he loses 50 points in the championship, it might well have paid off in the sense that he's winning this race, and he could well be on course for his first win in the series. And it will in fact be Clark St. James's first ever win in Next Gen Racing. No small gaps out there. I'm looking for small gaps on my timing screen, and there really aren't that many. We've got Jamie Dory heading this battle between him, Harry Hartley-Price, Craig Corrish and Ben Bennyworth. We'll just stay and watch that for a little bit. Jamie Dory at the front here in the purple next-gen car with his own face on it. Whoa, and the car of Matt Gatter, I think that was, just getting out of the way there. Harry Hartley-Price right behind Jamie Dory, heading towards the bus stop. Is there going to be a move to the outside in the Aston Martin? Can't quite make the move. And Craig Corrish, the teammate of Harry Hartley-Price, just behind as well. There's 3 Aston Martins. Sorry, there's a Porsche right behind Harry Hartley-Price. Jamie Dory with 2 Aston Martins right behind must feel he's a villain in a Bond movie right now. And with a picture like that on the side of the car, you must feel you are. No, I'll stop now. Hartley-Price under a little bit of pressure from his teammate, maybe. Craig Corrish right behind. He was the pole sitter in this race. Still in the top 10. Just looking at the timing delta between all of these categories, and Alan White is still increasing that gap to Stephen Fry, and Oliver Forsström is still increasing that gap to Stein Vatens, nearly up to 20 seconds in the bronze category. There's been some real dominant performances, particularly in the last 30 to 40 minutes of this race, from particularly Oliver Forsström and Andy White. Bit of the gravel taken by Craig Corrish there is going to put him in under a little bit of pressure from Ben Bennyworth, who's alongside on the left of him, heading towards Blanchimont. Oh, keeps the foot down and is in front now. And look up ahead, that's Harry Hartley-Price also trying to look around on Jamie Dory, but Ben Bennyworth is under trouble again from Craig Corrish, who's got himself alongside to the inside at the bus stop, but Ben Bennyworth will have the inside for last source. He's kept it alongside. Side by side through last source still, and they're going to be side by side potentially at Eau Rouge unless one of them gives in. Oh, it is Craig Corrish who's got himself back in front of Ben Bennyworth though. Now, I've raced with Ben Bennyworth a lot, and I know he does not pull out of a side-by-side situation. Aston Martin. Wow, look how quick that is actually down the straights here. Looks to the inside, outside still at Lecom. Doesn't quite make it though. Does the Quatermass driver. And this is losing them the gap from Jamie Dory and Harry Hartley-Price. And this is Benji McCluskey fighting with Lucas Seedor, actually. So the two of these meet again on the track, and this is a fight for 13th place, so some points for them. So they won't give it up so easy. Seedor guards the inside, heading down to Pouhon. Holds on to it. Gets back in front of Ben McCluskey. And it feels so strange to be talking about these two, but they're actually fighting for 13th. Normally you think about these two fighting for the top 5 spots. See if there's a move from McCluskey here. Moves to the outside as we approach Blanchimont. It is incredibly difficult to go side by side in GT3 cars through this corner. Undercuts, goes to the outside for the bus stop. You try that for the inside for the next corner of the bus stop. We'll see those later on the brakes. Oh, look at this, trying the undercut. McCluskey's going to get back alongside. It's going to be the outside at last source. Nice battling between these two. McCluskey hangs it around the outside. He keeps it there. Now he's going to have a bit of contact there heading out the corner. He's going to have the upper hand heading down to Eau Rouge. That was a fantastic run through last source there from Ben McCluskey. But are they going to pull out? No, they're not. They're side by side through Eau Rouge and over Raidillon. Off the road goes Lucas Cedar a little bit. But somehow the two both make it through Eau Rouge side by side. Fantastic racing between them. Still side by side as we head towards Les Combes. Lucas Cedar will have the advantage heading into this corner. He does. He's back through. What a brilliant batch of corners between these two. Cedar guards the inside for Bruchels. It was good. Exit from Malmedy there from McCluskey, but couldn't quite get the move in. Cedar was the wiser to that. And Harry Langford's in the pits. From third. Oh, he's got a rear wing missing. Yes, he's had an incident. This is Blanchimont. Oh, car gets out of shape. Oh, and he just completely loses the rear. Oh, and that was someone passing by. And that is going to be Harry Langford. Out of contention for a podium here is looking so good for him. The car just completely let go on of him. In fact, there is actually another incident. This is into Pouhon. Oh, the car gives way. It's on the gravel and he can't stop it once it's on the gravel. Oh, he'll be absolutely gutted about that. He rejoins. He's got a fast repair. Didn't take on any fuel or tyres, I presume. And he rejoins in 6th place right in front of Gaz Williams. Now there's still good points on offer for him, but the podium is gone. That hands it to Brandon Schmidt, who's got a bit of a gap too. Jack Pittas has broken away from him. But on his debut, Gabriel Rupp and the Rally.eu racing team. Brilliant debut for him. Quiet and in the wings, but has got himself into a strong position. Right, Brandon Vincent Squibb, got to keep an eye on him as he's getting closer to 3rd spot. And that last lap was just shy of a second quicker than Wojciech Kurt up ahead. And up ahead also, it's still battles raging on between Lucas Cedar and Benji McCluskey. And they're just having fun out there. For them, they feel there's nothing much to really fight for in this race. So they're just going to have fun at it here. Bit of gravel there from Lucas Cedar. And Vincent Squibb, due to potentially an incident on the first lap, had to go in for an early stop. And it set him on the back foot for pretty much the majority of this race. Hasn't been able to contend with Stephen Fry and Andy White as a result. But a third place is on the cards here for him. Below 1.5 seconds, and it's got 16 minutes to do so. And on that corner there, got it below a second, so this is really coming together for Brandon Vincent Squibb. It could well be, if he gets himself into third, my rough maths works out that Brandon Vincent Squibb will take back the lead in the championship. Under a second between him and Wojciech Kurp. And even if Wojciech Kurp doesn't finish third in this race, it certainly has been a good race for him. Best result of the season if it's third or fourth. Down below 0.6 of a second now. Kurp went a little bit shallow into Bruchels there. Perhaps the pressure is sinking in a little bit. The podium might be slipping from his grasp. Flash of the lights there from Brandon Vincent Squibb to try and put off Kurp, who went wide, heading out of Speaker's Corner just then. Below 0.3. This is now a battle for third place. Question is, where will Brandon do it? He's got plenty of time in the rest of the race to do this. He probably won't catch Stephen Fry for second place, but he can pick his moments to try and move for third place. As Kurt responds on the last few corners there, stretches away a little bit. But I certainly feel that Mustang is very, very quick indeed. We'll look to the inside of the bus stop, probably trying to spook Wojciech Kurp a little bit. Last source, it might come. The end of the Camel Straight, the Mustang, the very fast car on a straight line. And look at him gain on the McLaren here. There's not a lot Kurp's going to be able to do here. The end of the Camel Straight, there we go. Brandon Vincent Squibb is into third place. He's back onto the podium spots despite the extra pit stop he's had to take in this race. And you do feel that without that extra stop, maybe he could have been contending for the win in this race. Wojciech going wide there, pushing a little bit harder to try and keep up with Brandon Vincent Squibb. So a rundown of our orders. We come to the final moments of this race is Steph Wessels, who's almost led from start to finish in this race in the gold category. A 10-second lead for him. And Dominik Pester, who is half a minute ahead of Brandon Schmidt. It's been a solid race for Dominik Pester. Will lead the championship in gold category heading out of tonight. Brandon Schmidt missed the last round but returns tonight. Nice, solid podium finish for Brandon tonight in this race. Jack Pittas loves coming fourth place, doesn't he? Another one for him tonight. The Welshman of Quatermass Motorsport 4th place. Highest Mercedes in the field as well, and the highest Aston Martin of the field, debutant tonight, Gabriel Roop in 5th position. Good race for him. Been very quiet in this race, but certainly a good result. Gaz Williams has had a bit of a troublesome race, I would say. Taking his time to get up the order, but 6th place he's managed to get himself to. And Harry Langford, that spin a couple of laps ago has really cost him. 7th place for him. He'll feel himself very disappointed about that. Jamie Dory in 8th place. Jamie Dory continues to put in the good results. Has been out of incidents. Was very much involved in a lot of incidents last season. Not a lot were his fault. But 8th place right here means that maybe he'll hang on to the top 5 in the championship heading out tonight. Maybe. Harry Hartley-Price, 9th place. With teammate Craig Corsh right behind and Ben Bennyworth in 11th. Rounding off the points finishers in the gold category at the moment, Ben Altra moving over to the Aston Martin. Was in the Mustang last week but moved over to the Aston. Lucas Seedor in 13th place with Jeffrey Kruger in 14th. Quiet race for him. Ben McCluskey is 15th. He's had to take his last stop of the race. Silver category now, and Andy White leads this race. It's been a very strong performance from Andy White. He just swiped away the race lead in the most random of moments in this race, with others collecting each other. He just swoops through, takes the lead, and leads it from then on and continues to increase that gap now to 18 seconds over Stephen Fry, who for him this will be his best result of the season. Doing very well in the silver in the pro category, I think, in the NXTCC. And a strong 2nd place, best result of the season for him. Brandon Vincent Squid back on track. Had a bit of a troublesome race, but a 3rd place is a strong result here tonight, despite the troubles he's been through tonight. Not such a good round last time out at Red Bull Ring, but a very good round in the opening round at Fuji. But certainly will take the lead of the championship after tonight. Nigel Stark, 4th place. Good recovery drive, actually. It was going a little bit pear-shaped after the pit stops for him, but 4th place is a good recovery position for him. Jason Raff in 5th position. And something's happened to Wojciech Kerp. He's dropped down to 6th place. Yeah, nothing's come up on my screen. Wojciech Kerp was in the pit, so he might have short-fueled himself. So 6th place for Wojciech after the hard work he's had all through this race. Quite a shame, actually. It'll actually be Ian Manners in the silver category in 7th position. Late entry to tonight's race. But Alain McKane will be 8th place in silver category. Matthew Addy, 8th position. Has had a bit of a tricky race, has Matthew Addy, likewise with Mike Reedner. Wesley Lewin in 10th position. Dirk Wagner, who was contending in the top 5 for a lot of the races, dropped down the order. A few incidents here and there maybe, but 11th for him. And Phil McDougall rounding off the finishers in 12th position. Oliver Forsström leads by 37 seconds in this bronze category. A fantastic performance from him tonight. Will emerge as championship leader in the bronze category after tonight. And what a way to do it. Matthias Smolny has been up and down all race. Has been caught in other people's incidents. Had spins himself. But a 2nd place, still a good haul of points out of tonight from the driver who pretty much dominated the bronze category last time out at Red Bull Ring. Zara and McGuinness did start pole position in this bronze category and has worked themselves back up to 3rd position. And he's actually right behind teammate Smolny up ahead. So a good recovery drive in these the latter part of this race to get into 3rd place. Stein Vatens has been lurking around, flirting around with that top 3 spot. It'll be 4th at the moment for him. Jochen Seeger, haven't seen any of him tonight, but has made his way up to 5th place in the bronze category. Robert Savage in 6th position, and Samy Ariba maybe tonight could have been an opportunity to take back the lead in the championship, but it hasn't quite worked out that way. It's 7th for Samy at the moment. John Clark in 8th, followed by Kurt Van Hooniger in 9th. Josh Down rounding off the top 10 in the bronze category at the moment. Yaroslav Patuk in 11th place in bronze category on his debut, with Matt Gatter in 12th place. Elwin Sykes in 13th place, and teammate Davide Favo in 14th place, and Fabian Koziolik rounding off the points finishers in bronze category. But quite the grid we've had tonight. 53 drivers starting this race and finishing this race. Looks to be around about 44 finishing this race. Now on that last lap, just to claim the extra 2 points, you do get an extra 2 points for getting the fastest lap of the race, and that is exactly what Stephan Wessels has done on that last lap. A couple of drivers battling ahead. That's Nigel Stock. And just moving out of the way there is Jeffrey Kruger. This is the closest battle on the track. This is the battle for second place in bronze category. Zara McGuinness putting themselves into contention for it. Let's see if Zara can contend for that second spot for the remainder of this race. Less than 5 minutes to go, so there'll be around about 2 or 3 laps to go. So not that much time. But you look at the track map, and going through Blanchimont now is Oliver Forsström, and these two are only just coming out of Pouhon. That demonstrates how dominant Oliver Forsström's race has been today. Heading through Stavelot. Touch of the gravel there from Smolny. Brandon Vincent Squibb also in the silver category. Now, I did write it off, but he is getting rapidly close to Stephen Fry. So second place might actually be on the cards for Brandon Vincent Squibb here. Being quite the race for Brandon Vincent Squibb, with the exception of lap 1. Not entirely sure what happened to him. We might be able to review it later. Not too sure. We'll have to see. The comeback here to potentially second place. It's rather impressive. We'll have at least a lap or two to do so. I think when Steph Wessels makes his way to the line, it will signal the final lap. So that gives Brandon Vincent Squibb 2 laps at the end of this one to have a go at second place Stephen Fry, who is right behind Lucas Sido, and Stephen Fry's in the pits. So Stephen Fry hasn't got enough fuel in the car. Now, Stephen Fry might still be able to hang on to third place. Nigel Stock is in fourth place. That gives second place to Brandon Vincent Squibb. He'll be pleased about that, but Stephen Fry will not be happy the fact that his best result of the season is fading away here. Steph Wessels will start his final lap, and he'll start it with the fastest lap of the race. Nigel Stock. Oh, there's a rear wing going a missing there for someone. Not sure who that is. Oh, there's the car touring at the towards. Oh, right in front of us. Oh, and Stephen Fry loses control of the car. Has to go straight on at Eau Rouge. The car right in the middle of the track, and everyone was evading there. But Stephen Fry has now lost the third place to Nigel Stock. And fourth place to Jason Raff. So it's really not gone well for Stephen Fry here. But Nigel Stock will be relieved he can regain some points here from tonight. But amongst all the drama, Stephan Wessels is on course to come through as a winner in gold category here. Now he has to keep the hammer down to try and keep the bonus points, as only a few hundredths off of his time on that last lap was Dominik Pester. So Dominik Pester has the chance to take away 2 points from Stephan Wessels, which could play crucial to the championship later on down the line. Let's see what happens then. Battle of the fastest lap now. Positions are set. That was the gap on the previous lap, just 77 thousandths of a second between them. Checkered flag is out, ready to greet through our winner of this endurance race. Steph Wessels takes the win in the first endurance round of the championship. The defending champion has done it in round 3 of the championship here. And we greet through Dominik Pester, who did not set the fastest lap of the race. Both him and Steph Wessels were quite a way off their fastest laps actually. But Dominik Pester will continue to lead the championship out of tonight, and a strong second place for him. Brandon Schmidt will come through to finish third place. Strong performance for him tonight. Back on the podium. And back on song following a missed round at Red Bull Ring for him. He will round off the podium in the gold category, and one of the strongest results that ECO have had in this championship. Now Andy White, fantastic driving from him tonight. Took the lead and then just ran away with it. And just swiped away the lead in the most unexpected moment as well, with other drivers tripping over each other. He just sneaks through and he continues on for a dominant performance in this race. Lets the battling ahead of him continue as it needs to. He will take the silver category win. It's his and Clark St. James's first win in Next Gen Racing. Brandon Vincent Squibb, a brilliant comeback, it must be said, to get second place in this race following the disaster that was lap 1 for him. He comes through for second place, and Nigel Stock for third place in this silver race. After what was looking a bit dismal for him after the pit stops, a third place is a good result for him in the end. Now Oliver Forsström will led the championship coming into tonight, and he will lead the championship even more out of tonight. He takes the win in bronze category in truly dominant fashion. And a second place in the end for Zara McGuinness, does get by Matthias Smolny. To take second place. And this is how it happened. There we go. Let it through by their teammate. I wonder why that was. But Zara McGuinness with their best result of the season. And this is our new, our continued championship leader, Dominik Pester, in the gold category. Retaking the lead is Brandon Vincent Squibb in the silver championship. And extending the lead in the bronze category is Oliver Forsström. So here we go with the results of the gold category, first of all, from round 3 at Spa-Francorchamps in the NXTGEN Racing GT3 League. The first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. It is Stephan Wessels on top in the gold category with Dominik Pester in second and Brandon Schmidt rounding off the top 3. Jack Pittas, another 4th place for him, with Gabriel Roop on his debut, 5th position. Harry Langford, a late pit stop for him due to hitting the wall, 6th place. He'll be very disappointed with that, but still not a bad result. Gaz Williams, 7th position from Harry Hartley Price in 8th position, with Craig Corrish in 9th and Ben Bennyworth in 10th position. 11th place goes to Ben Altria with Lucas Seedor in a disappointing 12th place. Jamie Doy dropping to 13th in the end. Jeffrey Kruger in 14th with Benji McCluskey, a disappointing for him due to an internet disconnection, though, 15th place. And a lap or more down were Sean Shute, Kyle Griffiths, Jake Pitt and Kieran Davidson. Over to silver category now, and it is a first win of the season for Andy White in the Clark St. James Motorsport car, with Brandon Schmidt 20 seconds down, finishing 2nd place from that recovery drive of his. Nigel Stock 3rd place in the end for Crest Autosport in the silver category. Jason Raff 4th from Stephen Fry, who had to pit late on in that race from 2nd to finish 5th. Wojciech Kurp, strong performance from him tonight, is 6th in the end, with Alain McKane, who looked to be a contender for the win in this race early on, finishes 7th in the end. Matthew Addy 8th from Mike Reedner in 9th and Wesley Lewin in 10th. 11th place to Dirk Wagner from Phil McDougall in 12th, Mark Baker 13th, and non-finishers were Mark Baker, Ryan Blackie, Jopi Siemens and Matthew Cheverton. Bronze category, it's a win for Oliver Forsström, extends his lead at the top of the championship. Zara McGuinness in 2nd position takes it away on the final lap from Matthias Smolny, who lets through Zara, but still finishes on the podium. Stein Vaiten's 4th position from Jochen Seeger in 5th position. Samy Ariba in 6th from Robert Savage. Shawnee Clark in 8th from Kurt Van Houniger, and Matt Gatter rounding off the top 10. 11th position for Elwyn Sykes, 12th to Josh Down, Davide Favo in 13th position from Fabian Koziolek, and Yaroslav Patialuk in 15th place. Non-finishers were Maciej Kazil and Stephen de Gravelia. Well, that's been round 3 at Spa, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we have any interviews waiting for us. In fact, we do. In fact, and it is our debutant with a very, very good result for themselves tonight. So we are just going to go back to the start of this race, which might take a little bit of time, because we've got to go back a whole 2 hours, not 12 hours. We are going to go to our interviews now. And the first person we are going to speak to is the driver who finished 5th position in this race and had a spin at the start of the race, as we're just seeing there. But we are joined by Gabriel Roop in the comms booth now for the first time on your debut tonight. Gabriel, a brilliant, brilliant finish in the end, 5th position. Just tell us how you're feeling at the end of your first race at NXTGEN Racing tonight.
It's an amazing feeling, I would say. to finish at P5 on the debut. After a hard start, I have to say, after a spin at the beginning, where I misjudged the corner. I hit the wall with the rear. I thought I had the place. I didn't have it, but it wasn't too bad. No damage. I just drove it as it was.
Yeah, and as it turns, go ahead.
Feels good. Was a good race. I'm happy with the result.
Absolutely, good to hear. So, your first race in the championship tonight, you have missed a few rounds, but just tell us, is there anything you're particularly targeting this season with the remaining rounds?
I still came into the beginning of the season as the third race, so I can still fight for some points, for some positions. I want to aim as high as it's possible, Of course, it's a big disadvantage to miss 2 races, but I think it's a very strong start for me in this season, and let's see how it will continue. I hope top 10 finish, at least. Would be nice.
Well, let's talk about the next race then. We've got Imola coming up next, a slightly different track to Spa. But how about Imola? Is that a track you particularly like?
Imola, it's a track I didn't race too often, but I think I can work something out of it. I have to put in some practice, The only experience I had on Imola was from different sims, like ACC, so let's see how it will look on iRacing.
Yeah,
the Aston as well.
Yeah, let's see. Difficult track to overtake on, but that's next week, ladies and gentlemen. Imola is next week. So, Gabriel, you're part of a brand new team to the championship, the Rayleigh.eu racing team. I think I said that right, probably not. But tell us a little bit about the team.
Yeah, there's a mistake on the thing, because I'm actually not in the team.
Oh, right.
I actually registered as a privateer into the championship.
Oh,
I tried for WTF Racing with the team for endurance races, but for this championship, for this league, I'm alone. I'm a privateer for this championship.
Fair enough. We shan't talk about that then. So just tell us a little bit more about that race, how you progressed up the field. What was what were the events that kind of led to you getting up to 5th place? Because as you said, it was quite a difficult start to the race, but what was it throughout the race that just put all the pieces together?
Yeah, at the beginning I was lucky that I didn't get any damage, right? I was like maybe 5 seconds behind, so I could catch up pretty easily at the beginning. 2 cars in front of me had damage, so it was just, I had to just get somehow past them. Rest of the race, first stint was pretty hard, because I missed just one corner and I spun my opponent by accident. He braked a little bit too early. I didn't expect it. I'm sorry for the incident. I have to review it after as well. Not sure what happened exactly, but that gave me and my opponent some major damage. I drove the first stint with some major damage, pitted 1 lap earlier, which meant that I had the fuel safe for the second stint, which was pretty successful. Did 4 overtakes from P12 to P8, and then it went on strategically from then to P5.
Excellent stuff. Right, well, the floor is yours, Gabriel. Have you got anyone who might be watching the broadcast tonight that you want to say hello to?
Yeah, thanks for the support from Robert Borovic and Mark Murphy. They were supporting me throughout the race, so it's pretty nice, hello. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Well, fantastic result on your debut tonight, Gabriel. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Imola. We'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you.
There we go. That was Gabriel Roop, who is actually a privateer. Now, I read the team sheet, and he definitely is in a team on there, but we'll sort that out for next week. Still a good result. 5th place from a starting position of the back of the grid, I might add, and also a spin at the start that we did just about see. So, yeah, a fantastic race from Gabriel. We'll see what he can do in the future races, particularly when there's qualifying involved. Right, let's move on to our next interview of the night. Now, I'm just looking for him here. There we go. So we're going to chat next to Jamie Dory, our admin of NXTCC, who joins us again in the comms booth. Jamie, thanks again for joining us, mates. The race was going okay for you, I noticed. You were lurking around in the higher positions, but something happened towards the end, and I can't find what happened. So, can you tell me?
Yeah, I was a lap or two short of fuel. Bit focused on battling, really.
And it looked real fun. You battling with Harry Hartley-Price all the way through the race. Generally, was it good, clean racing for you all out there?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought the racing was mega. As I said last week, and that's why I thought I'd jump in this week. You know, the Audi's extremely down in straight line speed. However, it's mega in certain areas that I was just like, I've got to just do what I can when I can and hold everyone up.
Sounds like a plan, and it nearly worked. But tell us a little bit. Well, I haven't driven these cars since the update. In fact, I haven't driven any of these cars for months. But tell us a little bit about what's the key differences heading out of the recent update, apart from the new car, that is. Anything that's changed on the handling to the cars, just generally how they behave?
I don't really think so. They generally feel all right. They feel the same to a certain extent. You know, I'm not that in depth with them. I noticed there's a lot more key strengths and weaknesses to each car. You know, the Mercedes and the Mustang straight line speed is scary. I feel like the Audi's got a lot more traction out of a corner. There's just a few tweaks, which I assume they do with balance of performance.
Okay, let's talk about next week then, because you mentioned that the Audi's got a lot more traction underneath it, and next week is a traction track. Try saying that very quickly. But one long straight on Imola, but the rest of it a lot of corners and very tricky to overtake. So, at Imola next week, do you fancy your chances?
Imola's quite a bumpy track, so it's going to be stronger, I would hope. I think, you know, it's going to be stronger than the first three. So, let's see what happens. You know, it's a roulette. But yeah, these are the tracks I've now got the first three out of the way. I'm like, actually, I'm looking forward to next week's.
We're looking forward to it too then. Okay, the floor is yours, Jamie. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Maybe the same as last week. You know, everyone who races has been mega racing. The likes of the people like you do a great job in the comms box, professional as always, and the whole of everyone at NXTGEN. So yeah,
excellent stuff, Jamie. Well done tonight. Despite the result that didn't come your way in the end, still a good race, good fun to watch. So thank you for that, and we'll see you next time at Imola.
Yeah, see you next time, mate.
There we go. Jamie Dory there was looking around the 7th spot, and then, as he mentioned to us, a pit stop towards the end. There were quite a lot of drivers, actually, who were saying on Discord, and a lot of people I've noticed did pit towards the end. We saw Stephen Fry, of course, have to make a late stop. A lot of drivers did struggle with the fuel tanks tonight. Now, it is a longer lap here at Spa, so it is harder to control fuel levels, and when you need to come into the pits, it's a bit like the Nordschleife, really, but not quite as long, obviously, where it's quite hard to know if you can do an extra lap or not. So that was all to think about tonight here at Spa, but we are going to move on to our next interview, which will be our final interview of the night, and it will be with our race winner tonight. Steph Wessels will join us in the comms booth. So welcome along, Steph. Good to see you again. Last time we spoke to you was the last round last season, but Steph, a good win tonight, another win, 2 on the trot. So tell us how you're feeling right after that.
Yeah, evening gents. It was a good race. I got a bit lucky at the start. I was hoping for a good start, and with a lot of the guys changing cars and stuff, it meant that the grid was a bit... a lot of guys going to the back that was technically supposed to be in front of me, so that helped a lot at the start. And yeah, I got a good run up Eau Rouge. I think Craig in front, he tapped the brakes or tapped out a bit and made us free wide into up Kemmel Straight. But yeah, from there I knew I had good pace, so I just tried to manage it. And second stint, I could see fuel was going to be very tight. I didn't expect the fuel to be tight, so I just fuel saved a lot, so that the last stint I could go flat out. That was the strat.
Sounds like a great plan that worked, actually. We are hearing a lot of people say they were struggling with fuel tonight. Is that one of the key differences heading out of the update recently on iRacing? Is fuel a little bit harder to control, or is that just the nature of this track?
I think fuel, like in the past we used to run 80 in terms of fuel, and now I think from a couple of seasons ago we started with 50, and then you can go to 80% and 80%. So I think this track, obviously there's a lot of flat out driving, and I was on the cusp of needing to fuel save or not fuel save. So I don't think it's anything to do with the latest update, because the fuel is the same since season 3, except for the Mercedes. I think that car got a fuel nerf now for season 4. But other than that, the fuel is exactly the same.
There we go then. And let's talk a little bit about your season so far. Round 1 did not go to plan. Let's not talk about that too much for yourself. But you got yourself back on track a little bit last week with the win in the feature race and a win tonight. Do you feel a little bit more confident now about defending your championship after tonight?
There's still a long way to go, and there is some tricky, tiny tracks coming up, so anything can happen. But I mean, Benji had some bad luck tonight with a DC. Dominik is there in every race. If he doesn't win, he's second. So it's if you finish your second every race till the end of the season, I think you will still have a good chance of taking it. It's something like that. So they're going to be very difficult. I was hoping for a better start at Fuji and Red Bull Ring, because I knew the Ferrari was good there. So yeah, Red Bull Ring was not great. It was better, but not great. Tonight was better, but there's some tracks coming at the end where my car's not going to be so great. So it's going to be tough, but we'll be here every week and try.
Well, let's talk about next week. We've got Imola coming up next week. How do you think you and the Ferrari will get on there?
Lap time fine, but I mean, stuck in traffic there. It's overtake there is basically whether the guy next to you is playing along or not. So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I will also say backmarkers tonight. I mean, a backmarker almost took me out tonight because they spun in front of me very slowly. And I probably didn't see it on stream, but I almost died like with 10 laps to go.
I think we did catch it actually, yeah.
But
it does ring a bell.
It was like a slow motion slide in front of me, and I just went over the grass to avoid it. So, I mean, it's going to be tough at Imola, but then what happens when we get to Brands, or no, we're doing Brands. What happens when we get to Laguna, for instance? That's going to be insane.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, another narrow track, quite a lot of them this season. The floor is yours, Steph. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to who might be watching the broadcast?
Yeah, all the admins redoing the lobby again while everyone's making jokes. Thanks for that. I think we do appreciate all the admins here. They do a great job of running the league. And then my teammates for just keeping you company in a 2-hour race. That last stint, you could tell everybody was very quiet. South Africa, we're an hour later as well, so it's midnight, almost midnight now. So we all properly late, sitting here, just waiting for the race to finish. But yeah, teammates and all the guys at NXTGEN and all the other races, it was good fun tonight.
Excellent stuff. Well done, Steph. This certainly does make for a good championship story in the making. So we'll see you next week at Imola for the continued story. There we go. Steph Wessels, winner of the gold category. So that's going to round off our interviews tonight. So let's just have a roundup of our results. In the gold category, the top three: Steph Wessels, Dominik Pester and Brandon Schmidt. And in the silver category, Andy White wins the race, his first win of the championship, and Clark St. James's first win in the series. Brandon Vincent Squibb in second place, followed by Nigel Stock and bronze category. Dominant win for Oliver Forsström from Zara McGuinness and Matthias Smolny. We haven't got an update on the championship results tonight, sadly, but we'll be able to bring you the update on the championship heading into next week. However, if you do want to get involved in the inner communications that are happening in Next Gen Racing, including the championship standings, the chats between the drivers, the announcements of the championship, you can scan that QR code in the off center of our screen there. That'll give you access to the Discord server at Next Gen Racing. And if you can't scan the QR code there right now, you can click the link in the description of this video to get access to Next Gen Racing's Discord, as we mentioned. So that has been round 3 of the championship. Up next is Imola, round 4. Whew. What a round that'll be at Imola. Difficult to overtake, so it's going to be all down to qualifying. Is going to be down to some brave, daring moves at the beautiful circuit in East Italy. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator tonight, and on behalf of Next Gen Racing, the GT3 season, big thank you to our partner sponsors and affiliates that include Power Max Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, and Doble Motorcycles. This has been Next Gen Racing on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time at Imola. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at Next Gen Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.